students, welcome back to the session on plant layout. In our previous video we have seen the various classifications with respect to the layout. So among that, the first one is we are going to study in detail with respect to manufacturing units layout is product or line layout. It could be called as assembly line layout also. So this is the layout which is designed using the machines and equipments arranging in one line depending upon the sequence of operations required for the product. Okay, so here the design of the layout is derived by arranging them in sequential way how the operations are required or the conversion process is required for any specific product. So the materials move from one workstation to another sequentially without any backtracking or any deviations. So if it is already, so it is predetermined sequences in terms of material movements from one workstation to another station with respect to product line or say assembly line layout. So here it is depending upon the product, the sequence is already derived with respect to the operations. So material moves from one to another machines sequentially without any deviation. Okay, and materials are fed into first machine and finished goods travel automatically from machine to machine, the output of one machine becoming the input to next machine. So I hope we have got an idea what is product line or product or assembly line layout. Simple. So this is the layout which is derived based on the sequence of operations required for a product. Based on that, machines and equipments are arranged sequentially in order to produce the product. Say example from one, if the first machine is receiving the raw materials and the second one is giving the last one is giving the final product. So one from movement of one workstations or one equipments or say the machines would give finished product as raw materials to another workstation. So movement of materials from one machine to another machines, it happens sequentially, which is already predetermined, which is required or the specifications are required in terms of operations of the production. So without any deviation, so it has to go sequentially. So from 1, 2, 3 and 4 and so on, the machines, how the placement has to happen in such a way, the arrangement of such machines has to happen in such a way that you don't see any deviations. It has to have a continuous flow. That's what this is also referred as an assembly line layout. Okay, let's see in a pictorial way. So now we have a production of television. So here first is assemble chassis and second machine would install circuit board and the third one is somewhere install the flat screen and the installation of speakers, and the next machine goes to final assembly and the last is final inspection. So here if you introduce or if you insert the machine materials into first machine and then lastly you would get your final product without any disturbances in your production system. So this is how the production or product layout works. So let's see, there are a few advantages and disadvantages as each layout consists of advantages and disadvantages respectively. So let's see what are those. Okay, advantages. So low cost of material handling due to straight or short route and absence of backtracking. So as product line layout is, we don't see any deviation. It is all sequentially determined, the operations of production. So the cost of material handling would be less. The smooth and uninterrupted operation. So see, when the product is designed, the sequence of operations is designed and everything happens automated. system. So you directly, once we insert or once we input the raw materials, we will be getting the final product without any disturbances or any interruptions. So this would give a smooth functioning of production. Okay, continuous flow of work. We see, as there is no any interruptions or any deviations with respect to production operations, we see continuous flow of work. Lesser investment in any inventory and work in progress. So as we have to see, as we see continuous flow of work, we don't need to invest or we don't need to focus on more towards the materials handlings, because the continuous process is there. So whenever you receive the raw materials, you can directly input into a production system rather than giving them an ideal time. So it's somewhere less investment in terms of handling inventory and work in progress. So optimum uses of floor space, as the process is sequentially predetermined, as it's, which affects arrangements of the equipments, which gives us the optimum use of floor space. Okay, shorter processing time or quicker input. So output, sorry, shorter processing time or quicker output. So as we see the sequential of operations, so the production cycle consumed here is less comparing to other system. So it gives us a less production cycle time consumed per unit. So less congestion of work in the process. So congestion is piling up of the process. So during this product line layout, as it is sequentially designed and predetermined operations, so we see less work congestion in the process of production. And simple and effective inspection of work and simplified production control. So we see there is an assembly line designed sequentially, so maintaining and supervising the control of production is simple and effective with respect to product or assembly line layout. So these are the few advantages with respect to product or assembly line layout. Okay, it's lower cost manufacturing per unit. So as we have any uninterrupted operations, and we see continuous flow 24/7 working with respect to manufacturing, we get high number of volume produced. But so somewhere it adds us, it helps us to minimize the manufacturing cost per unit. Okay, so we have certain disadvantages as well. So let's see what are those. High initial capital investment in the special purpose machine. So as every stage is required by machinery, it is sequentially designed. So the investment in terms of machineries and equipments are really high at the initial stage. Heavy overhead charges. So the overhead charges, in the sense, the number of employees involved, the maintenance with respect to such layout. See, the line production is heavy overhead charges are the charges which are indirect charges on the cost on the production cost, such as the involvement of labor expenses and material expenses and service expenses. So such charges are quite high with respect to a product or assembly line layout. Okay, and the breakdown of one machine will hamper the whole production process. So as the product or say assembly line layout is sequentially designed, the sequence of operations have been predetermined. So if we see one machine failure, it affects the processes of another machines as well, as it is a sequential layout, predetermined sequence of an order of production process. So it has an impact. If one machine fails or breakdowns, it has a directly impact on the whole process of production. So lesser flexibility as specially laid out for the particular product. So product or assembly line layout is suitable for only which has a single product concept. So it is quite inflexible in terms of the expansion or the introduction of the new product line with respect to the manufacturing unit. So this is all about the disadvantages and advantages of product or assembly line layout. Okay, and specialized and strict supervision is essential. Okay, it is as it is 24/7 functioning of the manufacturing unit. So there are machines involved in different processes. So each has to be strictly supervised, and specialized supervision is essential in this layout. So this was all about the advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so we'll see how in which industries it is quite suitable. So mass production of standardized products, simple and repetitive manufacturing process, operation time for different processes is more or less equal, reasonably stable demand for the product, continuous supply of materials. So this is quite suitable for the mass production system of standardized products. It's a similar products where you're producing one single product concept, and we have a simple and repetitive manufacturing process. So it is not really suitable for the complicated manufacturing process. So an operation time for different processes is more or less. So such industries is suitable. So reasonably stable demand. So when you have, you don't see much differences in terms of demand for the product. For such product it is suitable. And you have, when with respect to the raw materials of your product, when we see the continuous supply of such materials, and for such product, this layout is suitable. So this was all about product line layout.